Hello everyone and welcome to Alicante and today's flight with TAP Express from Air Portugal, going from Alicante to Lisbon in Portugal with flight number TAP 1123. And today's scenery here is default X-Plane with X-Plane map enhancement running in the background for updated scenery ortho tiles. And we have active sky providing the weather. The aircraft we're flying is the lovely X-Crafts 195. I think definitely the best Embraer for any simulator at the moment. And hopefully FSS will release the full version of their Embraer package to Microsoft Flight Simulator in not too long, even though it's taken quite a while now. So the GPU here is connected. Let's get into the aircraft. It's currently cold and dark. We'll get some power on with the batteries. Nav light is on. And let's wait with seat signs until we have the fuel. And electric pump A for the hydraulic. We'll wait until we start up. GPU is available. Let's get it on the bus. Emergency lights goes to on, then back to armed. And clear the caution, that's due to the emergency lights not being on. Let's see, everything else looks good. Flaps is up, spoilers retracted. Thrust is idle. Engine switches are off. And everything else looks good. It's on. It's a very automated aircraft, so it's really lovely to fly. We really like to fly this in real life. So looking at our weight and balance, let's request our load sheet. This looks good. Load it and have a look at our, let's see, takeoff from Alicante today. Runway 10 is in use. Dry, flap 1, takeoff 1, that's fine. And if we quickly, let's see now, Avitab crashes my sim now, so let's not do that. Let's see, we can do it another way. One moment. We have Navigraph here instead. So let's bring in this flight plan. So here's the route today. This follows the real route that an aircraft from TAP is flying at the moment. And it looks like they got a shortcut coming up, I think, through Nargo and over. So we'll see about that. And then we'll come into Lisbon and land in a northerly direction unless the winds change. As we can see on runway 10 at Alicante, we will get 40 knots of headwind, 8 knots crosswind from the left. And if we have a look at the METAR, it's 70, 16 knots. Variable from 50 to 100 degrees. Good visibility, few clouds at 1005 and 31 degrees. QNH 1011 with no significant change. So let's just remove that for the moment. So we said, let's see, it's updated on my iPad now, 090, 13 degrees. 31 degrees and 1011. That gives us V1 145, VR 145, V2 149, and what is that? Flaps or clean speed 202. And we can just send to FMS. Everything is loaded, so let's get into the FMS. Press route twice. So going from Alicante, as mentioned, to Lisbon, LPPT. As tap 1123. Departure runway 10 on, yeah, what was the departure here? Departure Cato 4 Alpha. Apply. And let's continue with the routing. From Caton, direct center. Yeah, okay. Center. Yeah, let's not go to Alaska. Spain. To Prado. On to Bennett. Charlie, Juliet, November. To Palio. And Palio, it says November 975 airway. To Tango Lima Delta. To Natba. Melon. And then Charlie, Charlie, Sierra. To Upula. And that brings us to the arrival. Let's load in runway 02 for now. And we'll do the ILS. Transition PSX. And it's not giving us a star. Yeah, there it is. Upula to Alpha. And activate. We'll step through later on, and perf init cruise altitude today is scheduled as 320. Cruise winds averaging 303.49. And let's just check the zero fuel weight over here. 39339. Takeoff CG was 25. 25% set. And this is all fine. We're planning takeoff 1. No flags. And we'll load the V-speeds. Runway heading 099. Let's double check that. Yeah, it says 100 there, that's fine. It's dry runway. And what did we say the wind was again? 090 at 13. We are doing flaps 1. Rest looks good. V-speeds are imported. Climbing to 320 at 270 knots. That's max 74 when we're changing over. Transition altitude is 6,000 feet. Speed constraint 250 to 10, that's normal. And 290 cruise speed, we'll keep that for now. 280 in the descent on a 2.5 degree angle. And we'll do the landing speeds when we get closer. Initial climb clearance is 6,000 feet. Let's see here. Roll takeoff, LNAV VNAV is armed. 6,000 feet set for the departure, and QNH was 1011. We'll remove Navigraph before I forget it. And that looks good. Let's start the APU. Give it a moment just to activate on the display, then start. So, well, let's do some checklists here. Maintenance status is checked, cockpit emergency equipment is checked, electric panel checked, fuel checked. Let's just double check the fuel here. 6,700. And that is what we're planned for as well. Passenger signs can come on. Windshield wipers are off, hydraulic panel is checked, we just need to put on pump A. Air condition is checked, passengers oxygen is checked, ELT is armed, landing gear lever is down. Start stop switch selectors are in stop, speed brakes closed, rat is stowed, slat flaps is up, circuit breakers checked, complete. And we did the power up, battery 1 is on, 2 is in auto. We didn't check the voltage, but that will be fine. ECAS is checked, GPU is pushed. Well, let's say the engineers did the fire extinguish test for us today. APU has been turned on. And annunciators test. Yep. Emergency lights on, then armed nav switch is on, hydraulics checked, EFP is checked. Before start, passenger signs are on, pressurization is automated here now, checked. Flight instruments are set and cross-checked. Oxygen masks checked, thrust levers to idle. We have the required fuel, MCDU is set, trim panel is set 2.0 up, normal for the long ones. I think it's 4.0 for the short Embraers. Doors and windows, I'm gonna double check, and external lights, red beacon goes on, park brake off. So ground services will connect
ground cockpit. Tower is driving up.
Remove the objects. APU has started, so we can turn off the GPU. And remove it. Pushbacks driving up.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
We can turn the beacon on in preparation for movement.
Windshield strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Park brake released.
Can't start planner, aircraft not stationary.
And ready start number 2. So we see N2 is coming up. And we have fuel flow, ITT is rising. Okay then, let's stop this right here. So that went...
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
That's not ideal. Better push back, usually does such a good job for me. Okay, ignore that one, please. And let's start number 1.
Tower is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. And signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you. See you on the right. Two good starts, engine stabilized, RTO on the auto brakes, flaps 1 is set. Let's do nose taxi light on, startled cockpit. And engine start is completed. After start, ground equipment is removed, slats flap to 1, and we'll do a quick flight control check. Let's see here. Flight controls. Full up, full down, neutral, full right and left, neutral, rudder, right, left, neutral, We'll go to map. After start checklist is complete. Next is before takeoff, so let's just taxi out to 10. That's just gonna be following the Charlie. Is it Charlie? Yeah. It's just one taxiway parallel to the runway. Park brake goes off. So we'll cut down to the right here, across Delta, then just follow the taxiway all the way west, where we'll line up on 10. I think it's quite uphill here on this scenery. Big hill. Wonder if this is here in real life. This seems very excessive. 40% and 1 just to get going, and then a big downhill. Runway looks flatter and smoother at least. Let's not forget to put transponder on. And we can arm the auto throttle. So we'll taxi all the way up to Alpha 4. Here's Alpha 2, we're on Alpha 1. And the APU can go off. I think some airlines take off with it on, actually. Maybe someone flying Embraers can let me know in the comments. So we are Alpha 3, Alpha 4 is to the left. Alpha 4, runway 10. Strobe comes on, landing lights go on. And let's say cleared takeoff. Runway 10. Heading 099er. And we're ready to go. Auto throttle is catching. Takeoff. Auto thrust. Thrust hold. 80 knots. Rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. LNAV. Speedy flight level change. Autopilot engaged. Flap 0. Speed and FMS. After takeoff gear and slats are both up. So we'll just climb in over this Spanish mountain range here on the east coast, and we'll be crossing over central Spain. Pre-level, and let's just climb all the way. Was it 320? 320 set. And standard passing 6-1. We can release the passengers and the crew. Very nice and smooth here today. Coming in over Vilna. We need to be above, what is it, flight level 110 there. That's in the box. After that is Nargo, also 110, that's no issue at all. I must say, I think X-Plane looks very, very good now in this latest update, and very promising what they're doing for the next update as well. Really moving in the right direction. Just wish they had even more fidelity and options in the graphical settings menu to fine-tune things, especially things like the haze. As I mentioned in previous video, I'm running a plugin for that, Lua script. So haze adjust settings and lowered it a little bit. That's one of the things I really miss, because in some areas of the world this sim is way too hazy, at least on clear days. It doesn't seem to differentiate between weather types as much as just giving you haze to perhaps make it easier for a graphic card in the distance. But I want to see more than they give me by default, so just sync up the heading here and climb on up. Over 100, lights can come off, and starboard cockpit is off. Climb checklist, APU's off. Pressurization, we can check it here in the systems. Let's see status. Where does it show us? There we are. So the packs are operating. Temperature is nice. Should give us... yeah, that's right. Here's the cabin rate. Altitude 5007, rate is going up at 1000 feet per minute. Water brake is off. Delta P, so differential pressure inside and outside the cabin. 3.8 psi and rising. Transition altitude is passed, and we have set standard. Above 10,000, stereo is off, fasten seatbelts off, no smoking is staying on, external lights are as required. Is it giving us vaporization over the wing? I don't think that would happen at this speed and altitude. I've seen more extreme versions of that on other aircraft where it shouldn't be as well. So maybe that's one thing they could slightly improve their model of. But this X-Craft's Embraer looks very, very nice. Would be very cool if they did a E2 version as well. And if they, in the future, the developers of ortho add-ons like map enhancement, if they can automate via AI or something to smooth out color grades across the tiles, or if Bing or Google does that for the entire globe, that would really be awesome. But just thinking back a few years before the X-Plane map enhancement add-on came out, and you had to download ortho tiles manually, it's just such a huge improvement now. Okay, so it's saying max 230 at Nargo. And why is that? Yeah, no. Caton. That seems... that's a long way away as well. 56 miles at this level. That must be some airspace conflict that, as standard, they do this. I have a feeling they don't do this much in real life. And as I said, I saw the real aircraft do a shortcut as well. So we are gonna do the same. We will go to Malin. Direct, activate. And that gives us an open climb with flight level change again. So right now they're expecting Lisbon at 1815 Zulu. Let's just do that direct again. It's overturning a little bit, and I have a feeling the real aircraft would be smarter about this. Instead of giving you the LNAV track at where you are, it would, I think, most likely give it a nice turn instead of turning back towards it. If not, it's not a very smart design and doesn't match the rest of the automation of this aircraft type. So let's just let it intercept now. So while we're in the climb, we can just start to have a little look at what we're doing on the other side of cruise. So we have the Upula 2 Alpha arrival. Starting at, let's see, flight plan. Upula above 250. No, below 250, of course. At 280 knots. We'll continue down to Exona, 250 knots. Papa Tango 805, max 230. Yetzi, max 230. And Ortug at 70. Follow the point merge system arc. If there's traffic, right here we'll do Ortug to Ultit direct since we're flying alone. So let's, from Ortug to ULTIT, then PSX 4000. And we'd add the ILS from PSX to the route. Initial approach fix from there, it don't show initial fix at least. PSX, then Netvo Oknib down to runway 02. Minima 530. Barrow 530. We'll double check the comms, but they're auto-tuning on this aircraft when we get close enough. So we have pre-level standard 320, and it's in yellow, so it's catching it by itself. So the last 1,000 feet before catching an altitude, you're supposed to have sterile cockpit and monitor that the aircraft will actually catch the altitude. So now we have capture, and the aircraft will accelerate to its cruising speed of 0.79 Mach. Next Melon in 169 miles, and that's in 25 minutes. And we can see the fuel numbers are updating now that we're in cruise, and the engines start stabilizing and not pushing takeoff and climb power all the time. So we have plenty of fuel when we get to Lisbon. Don't know if you noticed, but it said 300 kilos here when we were leveling off. So that's not unusual, at least for aircraft that's smaller and maybe less sophisticated in their calculations of fuel. They're just looking at current fuel burn. So for example, in the aircraft I usually fly, the Dash 8, it will tell you you're arriving with negative fuel when you're in the climb. So just like that, we're cruising along to Lisbon. We'll put on some music and talk more when we get close to top of descent. And we have already done the FMS setup mostly. Just need to calculate the speeds, check the latest weather, and start our approach. So we are top of descent. I selected flight level 100 initially, and without doing anything, this aircraft just catches the path, follows it down. It's just wonderful. Why don't all aircraft work like this? Okay, so updated arrival times for Lisbon, 17:29 Zulu. That's 20 minutes from now. We already briefed the approach. We'll pull up Navigraph again and have a look at the latest weather in Lisbon. It says 350, 17 knots. Good visibility, few clouds, 3005, 25 degrees centigrade, and 1018. And let's do landing perf. 02, we'll do, yeah, flap 5's fine, dry. We have reversers, no icing. 350, 17. 25, 1018, and let's find. Do we have a landing weight here? I think it's supposed to be in here somewhere. So right now we're 43.6. We're gonna burn, yeah, about 400 or 500 kilos, so let's call it 43.1. And that gives us VREF 133, approach 138. That looks very good. Go around flaps 2. And we have 2,000 meters extra to stop on. So this doesn't give us any auto brake setting, but with this long runway, I think we can safely just go low. And if we need to, we'll do manual braking to find an exit. We'll have a look at that in a moment. So down here in the FMS, data link, and let's load the speeds. For descent, 280, that's fine, as briefed. Runway 02, PSX, ILS, and Upula to Alpha arrival as briefed. Okay. What isn't it liking here? Okay, I think I didn't activate the changes we did to the point merge system on the arrival. So let's see, is it, yeah, it's happy now. We said we wanted flap 5, runway is 025, temperature 25, cat 1, no icing, 43,100 approximately. Winds 350 at 17. Yep, so that's fine. Everything is programmed. Checklist auto brake is set to low, landing data is set. And as we get a little bit closer, we'll wait and see for 17:30. Let's wait until 10 minutes to landing, and we'll give the cabin a call or fasten seatbelt signs. So speed is slowing down. That's a bit early, isn't it? Okay, so it made itself a step down. I didn't check that, that's my fault. But the path is coming in again. Speed is controlled by the aircraft. Auto throttle. So that's just a preview of the localizer course. And we see it's already set to 0 to 5 on localizer 1. And when we activate approach, captain should have localizer 1, first officer localizer 2, so they have different sources, separate sources, in case of failure of one of them, so you can cross-check. So we're continuing down. So we can see here the path is nice. We removed the point merge arc. So we'll come in on a very wide sort of right downwind, turn right base and into the airport. With winds of 350, that's gonna be a light left crosswind for us today. It's calculated 14 knots headwind, 10 knots crosswind. Just to the northwest of the airfield, there are some low mountains. So I expect in real life this would be a possibly a worst wind direction turbulence-wise for the final part of the approach and landing. So we'll have a look and see if X-plane is catching up on that. This terrain and shadows with the clouds now. The clouds could have a bit more definition, but this looks so good. Very nice spread cloud bases around us below. One thing I've noticed about clouds in the latest X-plane version is sometimes the high-level clouds can be arranged in a pattern, so you get lines of similar clouds going out from, I don't know if it's centered on the aircraft, but it looks unnatural and not very nice. But it's just from, if you line up the camera with those lines, it looks really bad. But hopefully that's something that's getting looked at in the next update as well. Okay, for now let's just continue down and sync the heading. But we have a few thousand feet to go before we need to do anything else. So about it's updating now. Okay. Well, we're getting close to 10,000 feet, so we'll put seat belts on, and I'll just do the lights now before I forget it. No big deal. Startle cockpit. coming up on the Portuguese coast. So just over the coastline here, we'll start our right turn, and the airport is somewhere over here. The ortho is doing a really good job down here, I think. Looks very, very nice. I really enjoy flying these Embraers. It's one of the most flown aircraft I have. So really looking forward to a high quality version coming over to Microsoft Flight Sim as well. Hopefully that won't take too much longer. FSS is in beta now for testing out their custom FMS system, where they're finally refining their LNAV and adding VNAV as well. I applied for their beta, but didn't get in with the first batch, but hopefully I can get in on a later date. I think the next group might join after they release their LNAV update for the custom FMS. And just having that compared to the product right now, if you can go direct to a point on an arrival, for example, today that breaks the FMS. And okay, we'll continue down. Let's see, the next altitude is 7,000 feet, so we'll do that. Our flight level 70 at Ortug. We have lights on and seat signs on, so the cabin is preparing. We've done our approach briefing. We'll do the QNH very soon as well. Transition level here is by ATC, but I would expect approximately 6,000 feet here. At least at 4,000 you're on QNH. So we'll do on the next step down from Ortug to Ultit. We'll set the QNH. So now it's saying 34, just under 10 minutes, so looking at approximately 1:20 flight time today. Max speed Ortug 220. Next speed restriction is 180 at PSX and joining the ILS. And just for planning purposes, PSX is 11.3 miles out. So pretty good place to start our config. This is... It really depends on the aircraft type, of course. Large, heavy aircraft will need longer distances to slow down. So we are planned 7,000 Ortug. That is being held by the FMS. Let's do 4,000 feet. QNH 1018. RMP is now going to terminal mode with 1 mile accuracy for how accurate the FMS and LNAV can be or must be. This is just what it must be, but it will also it will keep a much lower, most likely in the 0.1, 0.2 range. You can check that in FMS, of course. But talking about configuration distances on an approach, in a Dash 8 where we can slow down very quickly if we join the approach at about 200 knots, which is where we can start configuring as well, then we have no problem of keeping that speed until, well, we're supposed to be done configuring and checklists by 4 mile final. If you have a lot of weather, of course, you're gonna do it sooner, so you can focus on reading the instruments, doing the approach, looking for signs of the ground and everything like that. But on a visual day, we'll push config to 5 miles and just do idle, set flaps, gear down, and let the speed drop like a stone. So within 1 mile you can slow down, be configured, and just read the checklist. On a more reasonable day with shifting weather, not really bad, but maybe not visual, starting at about 7 miles is fine as well. For me, in an unfamiliar aircraft, I will most likely start configuring a little bit sooner, but at the same time I'm gonna try to keep approximately 160 until, yeah, let's say about 6 miles final or something like that, because at least busy airports today, they expect you to keep that kind of speed until you're ready for your final config and setting up for the final part of the approach. And as we see the estimated time, this is also normal for the Dash, for example. It starts out optimistically because it usually just updates based on your current speed. That's the simple FMS systems. If you have a more sophisticated aircraft, they might calculate a slowdown, so they know that you can or that you will slow down and add the added time. But simpler FMS systems, they will just use the current speed for their estimates. So, for example, when it says 10 minutes left, it's more like 10 or 12, 13, 14 minutes until you're touching down. And that also depends on when do you have to slow down. Like here, we had 180 at ultit. So, yeah, that's kind of slow for an approach. So we're just passing through these few clouds. Next is PSX at 4,000 feet. We are on a nice intercept. Let's arm the approach. Localizer glide slope is armed, and we have the localizer needle coming up below us. On this model, it seems like, yeah, it's synced here. We can do the FMS again and approach armed. It should be 1 and 2, and they should turn green, I think, from what I've seen. So the airport, yeah, the airport's over there by the river or fjord. So we're leveling off 4,000 feet a little bit early. It's turning in. Let's do flap 1. Localizer and glide slope is captured. Yeah, so the X-Craft is doing Loc 1 on both sides. From what I know, that's not correct, but doing synced sides is also very normal. Now we see it's slowing down to 160 automatically. I thought this was the airport, so that must be another one. So here we have Lisbon Airport in the middle of the city, almost. And very nicely established on the glide slope. Coming up on 8 miles. Airport elevation is 330 feet on the runway. Let's go gear down. Flaps 2. Flaps 3. And 4. And 5. Flap 5 is set and checked. Before landing gears down, flaps 5 set, checklist complete. And cleared to land. Let's use the nose light as a reminder. That's normal at my operator. And we'll disconnect the autopilot approach 1.
Autopilot.
Autopilot is engaged. Must say I'm not really a big fan of the bird symbol on the primary flight display. Much
1,000.
Much more used to and happy with the cross displays. But this is what Embraer does, it seems.
$500. Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Glide
Minimums.
slope.
200.
Glide slope.
Disregard.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
100.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
50. 40.
Throttle. Throttle.
30.
Throttles to idle.
20.
And
10.
let's flare. Nose wheel to the ground. And reverse. Green. Stow the reversers, auto brakes off. We have a rapid high-speed exit coming up here. So we'll take that to the right. And then we'll just continue a right turn, I think, on, looks like Alpha, maybe? To the terminal, at least. Start to clean up, flaps up. Landing lights come off, strobe comes off, and we'll start the APU. Again, just wait for the yellow mark on the display and turn it on. So we'll turn in here. Or, yeah, we'll do that. Probably more realistic for Tap Express to park on the apron, but let's be fancy today and assign ourselves a gate on the main terminal. Turn the flight directors off. APU is online. After landing, APU, external lights, transponder will do at the gate. Slaps and flaps are retracted. Pitch trim should be 2 up. Ready for the next departure. Next is shutdown. Yeah, 122 looks good. Let's turn in here. And while we do that, taxi light off so we don't blind the ground crew. Is there any Embraer markings here? CRJ. I think we'll do the A319 one. Looks about right. Or maybe here. Yeah, that looks good. Park brake is set. We have APU on, so shut down the engines. And with that, release the passengers so they can get up. And beacon goes off, electric pump goes off. Checklist says thrust levers idle, emergency brake is set, electric panel on APU, engine start, stop selectors to stop, hydraulic system pump A knob is off, external lights, red beacon is off, sterile switch off, fasten seatbelts off, checklist complete. Let's call up a GPU, set out some cones and open the doors. GPU has started. Let's do ground power, turn off the APU to save fuel and noise. So now it's complaining. but that's normal, and let's not forget to do standby on our transponder. So that's today's flight. Lovely tap express from Air Portugal into the lovely Lisbon airport. Very nice weather, and again, I just really love flying to new places, seeing the countries, the terrain, the weather all over. So it's just very cool, and especially flying in high fidelity aircraft like this as well. So I really hope you enjoyed today's flight. I will return with more Embraer flights as well later on. And I think the next flight will be in Dash 8. So we'll see if we can find any interesting routes, interesting airport approaches for that. So until next time, please like, subscribe if you enjoy my videos. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or suggestions for real air routes and places to go that you would like to see. And until next time, have a nice day.